Good afternoon. This is my video presentation for the final paper, and the title of my final paper is based on what our needs are, a proposal for a mobile art museum program. And in selecting this mobile art museum program, my paper reflects my own experiences as a student, the students I'm currently working with in Pasco County, and also the program in Pinellas County that I won't say it inspired me because I actually already had thought of the program, but it inspired me to further develop the program, my thought process, especially after the interview. It really excited me. Now, in looking at my mission statement, I haven't really made changes on those things yet, except from whatever suggestions were made by you to me uh, after looking at it, because it this seeks to work with communities that have students who are disadvantaged, and even work with students who have different disabilities or abilities, and go from there. So that really hasn't changed because I felt pretty strong about how that was. Like, if you have students who have visual impairments, you can make things contrast or bigger print or brighter, depending on their needs. And for other students who have issues, like, for example, one of the things I'm proposing is to have VR. If a student is not able to have the virtual reality as it's presented, we could just do it on a screen. I know that you can do some different things with that, and maybe they would use a touch screen to proceed, because I know I've seen students with autism that have successfully used touchscreen computers, but they may not lack anything on their face. So, in looking at that, we would have information. I might even add that. I'm going to make a note to just add detailed instruction for different abilities, because I know that some students don't like things on their face. No face. So I'll make a note of that. And my goal in justifying the program is to just state that students are our future generation. And by showing them what they can do, that might improve themselves from a humanistic standpoint and improve their community or society from a social reconstruction theory. So those two theories are the ones I'm going with, because I feel like, we should change our society, but also the individual should be able to grow as a person. And I do have some definitions. I haven't added all my definitions yet because I wanted to almost completely finish the paper before I go back, just to see what words I'm using that I feel need some defining. So of course I define a mobile art program and a museum because that's what we're looking at. But I'm going to add some additional things. So like I said, I wanted to wait till I was almost completely done before adding those things. And then the program, the setting, I'm leaving a little open-ended right now, and I kind of want to, I'm always like having options, especially since this is theoretical and not literal. The fact that the DALL-E program has a trailer that they drop off at the site, and I'm going to show you a picture of it. It looks like, let's see, like this. So it's a trailer that's dropped off at the school, and the students can go inside it. The teachers are trained to use it extensively, and they do all the work. So there's no need for staff or volunteers or interns or any of those things. And that is an option. But this is also paid for by Pinellas County. The DALL-E Museum worked with them, and Pinellas raised the money, which is intriguing. But it also means Pinellas dictates how it's used, where it's used, and all that to a certain degree. I mean, they do work together on it. But what I like about it is that it's an autonomous thing that doesn't require staff. You just train somebody on the use you have your education director that probably trains them or sends them a packet and videos, and they go from there. So that's pretty cool, because my idea was to have more of a van, like a van that would go to the school, or a truck like this that would, where the students go inside of it, similar to with the Dali having a trailer. The thing is, you have gas money that needs to be paid for, and there's cost associated with it. Whereas the Dali program, it's put at the school. It's there for a time, like, so the whole school can go through it, and you don't have to worry about staff. So it's intriguing, and I'm definitely going to put that in my paper as an intriguing idea, because it seems pretty cost efficient in its own way. So that's something I was thinking of as far as the setting of the program. And with the program participants, of course, it's going to be K through middle school. But I think that in looking at this too, I might add as much as high school, because I feel like maybe they could benefit. But I think K through 8 is more critical, because in high school you start getting more zoned in on what exact kind of art you're going to do. You're going to either be drawing in a course, or you're going to be painting in a course, or you're focused. Whereas K through 8, you're still opening them up to all the possibilities. And as that leads us to the program procedures and activities, which I was thinking of students using laptops to learn how to do graphic design, and using VR headsets to learn about art and experience, like going through a museum virtually, but getting to make choices. And that's one of the things that I put in the paper, is that I feel like students need choices, because that's an option that isn't always there. So if it was a VR program where they could choose which room to go in and what to do, and there was curators in the program that would explain things, I feel like that would be good. So the other thing is in talking to the Dali people, they were so excited about their program, and also the fact that most of the funding came from Pinellas County. Now, other counties may not have that money, and that leads me to limitations. If the county can't afford a program like this in the Pinellas model, then the schools would have to pay for this program individually. And if individual schools are already struggling, they may not be able to afford this sort of field trip that comes to you. So the limitations are mostly financial. And, that I don't know how much of that should be put in the paper, but that is going to be kind of good, because it's disadvantaged students that I'm trying to focus on. So in looking at that, I'm going to put that in the paper, and also the limitations of the students being able to come in if they have physical handicaps, and how we could adjust to them, and what if it's just really difficult to do that. Because I've worked in different places and nonprofits, and I know that, if it's something tactile, generally you can get most students to be able to interact with something. But if it's laptops and VR, there might be limitations. But you can get touchscreen computers. But again, you get to the cost of that. But if you have like a touchscreen computer, a bigger screen, I've seen these in classrooms, then maybe we could work out something for them. And it just depends on the need too. So again, the limitations too, if you had a big truck, it might not fit at the school. If you had a van and you brought the items to the school, they might not have a room for it. So basically a truck might be too big. The same with that trailer. They might not have room for a trailer like the Dali model. So no room. And then if there's a van, that means that brings the items, the school may not have space. I know that my school is really small, and in looking at my school, I can think of a place where they could set up something like this, because we have our lunchroom, and that's used for lunch. So it would have to be something where they did it before lunch or after lunch in that space. And then you might not be able to fit all the students. And if it was there for a couple of days, that'd be fine. But if this is a mobile unit that's in a van, that would be kind of costly. I mean, where are they going to spend the night? So again, looking at the limitations, it's just a matter of like how you can fit and where. I mean, there is room in one hallway at my school that maybe you could put something, but it's heavily trafficked. So if students are trying to focus on something, it might be hard. So we have a spare classroom, but it's being used to store junk right now. So it's one of those things where a school might say, no, we can't do it because we don't have room, or we don't have space, or we don't have private space because, you know, they might need silence or quiet time to hear the things. So that could be a limitation. As far as future and adaptations, I would love to see more artistic programming because, as I say in the paper, art definitely influences creative thinking, problem solving skills, and career based things, because there's so many things that are done digitally, and some students don't have their teachers don't know how to teach it, or in my case, we don't have computers in my art room. We're not allowed to for whatever reason. I don't know if they don't think I take care of them, which is ridiculous. I used to work in IT, but for whatever reason, as the art teacher, and actually all the specialist teachers, we don't have iPads or any of those things in our room. And I think they'd be extremely helpful, because then I could teach kids how to design a website or design a logo or do countless other digital technology things that would help them as far as careers go. These students are doing it on their cell phones, of course, but that's so limited in space. So, you know, as far as future adaptations, I would love to see this as an after-school program, because I have a friend in North Carolina, which I stated in the paper, who had a son that would go to a program in North Carolina and Asheville called Art in the Afternoon. And they would just do art and art projects and different kinds of creative things. So if there was some way that this could turn into a program where we had grab and go lessons with materials for the schools that they could use that was STEAM based, I would like that, because I feel like even though art shouldn't be teaching all these other subjects, if it can be included, even if it's just subtly, I feel like that's a victory. So my takeaway for future adaptations would be that this goes to other counties around that need it, maybe even have more than one, or have after school programs and summer programs. Because my daughter has gone to some summer programs that were about the arts. The Dunedin Fine Arts Center in Dunedin had some really awesome art program, or they still do, and they also do scholarships. And also there was a thing called College for Kids that I worked for that focused on more advanced lessons in the arts, and also we did history. So those kind of things were not just a babysitting service, they're actual programs. And that's the thing, is at our school we have an aftercare program, and they go outside and play, they have a snack, they watch movies, and they color. Some of the kids do homework. But if you actually had a program, then they would be learning. And maybe at the end of the day, their brains are a little fried, but maybe it was something really fun, which art is fun. They can learn and have fun. And I know, like I said, my friend had her son in this program. He loved it. And even though he'd been at school all day, it was great. So that's where I'm at with the paper. Of course, I have my references in APA. I've been going over APA 7th edition because there are considerable changes that I was overlooking. So I have references, and I've been going through all the different references, looking for more information. But the paper is pretty much almost done at this point. I'm just going over things and adding more details to it, especially about the Dali program, because that was so inspiring, talking to those people and their excitement I could feel. And I put that in the paper, that their excitement for their program and how it's helping the community was really inspirational to me in thinking of this program. So, and I like their model. I love the idea that it's paid for by the county, that it goes directly to the school and it stays there until all students have gone through it. And it's, no cost to them. It's already paid for. So it's not like they have to have the kids pay for it. So that was pretty cool. So that's where I'm at with the paper. I hope my visuals were good enough. Do I need to include the visuals in the paper? Because I'll save them. That's no problem. I didn't see that anywhere in there that we needed visuals. So thank you, and I hope you give me some good advice.